Welcome back, everyone. Guys, we're going to do something a little different this time. Go ahead and, if you don't mind and you like the content that we put out, and we hope you do, you're obviously watching. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're going to go ahead and say that at the start and get that over with. Hit the subscribe button, the bell, that way you get new notifications when it comes up. With that being said, we're going to go right into our next topic today. We got Mr. Mike King, special guest coming on board for this one. With the Blu-ray coming out next Tuesday, correct? Mm-hmm. Of Infinity Wars, it's back fresh on everyone's mind. What we want to do is touch on a little bit of that. We exactly. We haven't seen the deleted scenes, the extra footage on there yet. So once we watch that, we're gonna give a review at that point. But until then, we're gonna go ahead and make a video tonight with our predictions. What we're gonna see moving forward with Avengers 4. MCU in general as they close out Phase 4. Phase 3. Yeah. Whatever phase we're Phase 3, correct? Okay. So we're going to give a little bit of predictions of what we think is going forward. I think that there's so many doors, so many options. They loosely, and they've done this in all the movies, they've loosely went by the comic book as a
they kind of mixed 3 or 4 different comics.
Yeah, base blueprint. So with that being said, we're just going to dive straight in. I'm going to go ahead and let Peebs lead us off on this one.
Well, we have 2 movies left in Phase 3. We have Captain Marvel and we have Avengers 4. Well, you know, Captain Marvel is going to take place in the
90s. Somewhere in the mid-90s.
Yeah, 90s. As a lot of people have started to notice, we see old dude from the Black Order with a Kree thing hanging down from his belt. So I mean, I found that interesting. I found that it went so long under the radar that no one noticed it.
Yeah.
And how many times have like the people
I've seen that movie 10 times already, and it's just like,
yeah. I mean, how many times we didn't notice it? Like he's completely black, and then he's got something new.
Find something new every time, so like you watch it.
I think Captain Marvel is obviously going to play a big role. I think we'll find out a lot about that. We'll find out if she had run in with the Black Order, if maybe the Kree had run in with the Black Order. We'll find out probably why Ronan went down the path that he went down in the first Guardians, where he just completely
felt like the Kree betrayed him and
was completely against the Kree. And I mean, at that point, he was siding with Thanos. He knew who Thanos was in the first Guardians, so there's a connection there. They've dropped some hints of some connections with already where we are in the cosmic universe, and I think Captain Marvel is going to piece a lot of that together. These connections, these pieces that we're missing. I think it will play a pretty big role in what's moving forward, obviously, but I think it's going to be the small stuff and not what people are expecting out of it that's going to be the major role players, in my opinion.
I think that obviously with the quantum realm and what Ant-Man happened at the end, that's obviously a plug in. And like you said, they wasted the whole movie just for that one sentence, but it was something that they needed to say.
Well,
that definitely ties in, don't you think?
Yeah, but with now finding that sash on Black Dwarf, or they call him Cull Obsidian for some reason, maybe they changed his name completely. But seeing that sash on him, and then what he just said about Ronan siding with Thanos. Well, Ronan was a Kree soldier at one time, and thinking about the whole fact that her movie takes place during the Kree Skrull War, Ronan's going to be in it. That's tying a lot more into the fact that there's something there that's happened in the 90s that even Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, he knew. That's why he was willing to call her. Like, maybe, obviously we know he's in the movie, so he was there during the Kree Skrull War. He knows that she's had run-ins with these people. I'm thinking he's known somewhere in the back of his head what Thanos was planning on doing. And the moment he saw people fading away, she would have known too, and they may have stopped him at one point, and then he's like,
let me touch on that point.
Which they should give him his mother in that.
Yeah. What would be so funny if this was his big ultimate plan the whole time was to call Captain Marvel in, and it's comic book, so we know it's not going to happen. But wonder if she was the part of the 50% that faded away. I mean, that
Well, what
would
if
have
she was-
Wow, that wouldn't be a
But I think
for
that
everybody.
I think maybe
for
she's
everybody.
in the comics. There's a place called Limbo that she gets stuck in, and she don't remember that she's Captain Marvel. She's Carol Danvers. She's married to somebody. You know, she's stuck there. Or she could be in an alternate universe for all we know right now. You know, she could be in a completely different part of the multiverse because Doctor Strange and Ant-Man and now Ant-Man and the Wasp, we know the multiverse exists. There's other universes out there.
Is he going to be an aged Ant-Man in this movie? If he
Actually,
goes back and lives his life through the 90s, he should have been an aged Ant-Man.
oh, you're talking, well, no, from what I understand, Avengers 4, the way it looks like, he's going strictly from that set photo we got from what we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Straight back to like 2012. That's what we know. That's the only thing we know for sure. He's going back to the Battle of New York.
And don't we find out how Nick Fury loses his eye in this one? That's great.
Mhm.
That's been
Yeah,
Oh, is
done,
it?
right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Which means
that's pretty
which there's a possibility of Robert Redford coming back because remember he made that comment last time I trusted you or I trusted someone, I lost an eye. He said that in Winter Soldier.
good. Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, I think that, like I said with Ant-Man, I had also, heard a little bit about that it's supposed to just go back to like 2012 and how that's supposed to play in and like you said back in the first Avengers, and I think that both of those movies that are coming, especially with Captain Marvel, I don't really know how that's going to play out, but I think that she's going to play a huge role and it is. I think I agree with Peeves. It's going to link a lot of that together. There's so many unanswered questions. And I think that movie, it's our last taste before we get to finish this last, hurrah for what we've spent all these years building up on Marvel movies. So, I think Captain Marvel, that movie is gonna finally answer a lot of our questions. And then, then of course whenever we get the next Avengers, I think that's whenever we're gonna get a clear spot exactly where all this plays in. And then it's gonna go the same direction, because we didn't know what to expect. But we kind of know where we got to go from here, going forward. Now that everybody's gone, this is going to kind of piece together how we're going to get the end result of defeating Thanos.
I just hope they don't Clone War it. And when I say Clone War it, I mean throw a movie together that you cover too much of a time slot and too much material and it takes away from the movie itself. Please don't Clone War it.
That's the reason why I think that Captain Marvel's going to play a lot in that. Like it's going to cover a lot of ground that we don't want to be covered in that new Avengers.
I don't think
Captain
I'll cover a
Marvel-
lot of ground, but let's please make it a good movie.
We've got
Clone
Infinity
War.
War. We've seen what Thanos is capable of. We've seen the first Guardians. We know what Ronin's capable of. I think Captain Marvel is going to give us a little bit more backstory on Thanos, on the Kree, on all these things going on maybe the fact that she's dealt with the Black Order before, especially now that we've all missed this Easter egg till somebody has been thrown on the internet the last 2 days.
Dude, how crazy would Ant-Man be in Captain Marvel?
And then Captain Marvel is
He's definitely going to be in it. He has to be.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be in Captain
He could be
Marvel.
at the end like a cameo.
Maybe.
Like I need your help. We got something.
And we do know, we know for a fact he's going to be back in Avengers. We know she is. They've released that concept art of the Avengers team for it. I'm most excited for Professor Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk and Banner basically finally coming
That's a dangerous
to an
combination.
agreement to where the strength of Hulk and the intellect of Banner.
That's a dangerous. Yeah, he ain't got the brunt of like Planet Hulk would have been. I guess you'd say they kind of teased at her or wasted it basically in Ragnarok, but. He's definitely got brains behind his.
Wasted it,
Yeah, I mean, they kind of did. I mean,
They
did
couldn't
waste
help it. Universal wouldn't let them make a Hulk movie. So.
Right. Yeah, because the other ones didn't do so well. But my opinion on it is there's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of things that this person thinks. And then if you go by the comic books, I think one thing that is huge that nobody's mentioned is Nebula's still alive. And anybody has read the comics, they know Nebula, what she does. Has it been confirmed Warlock will not be in this one?
It's confirmed he will not be in the next one.
And say that's, in my opinion, if you've already hinted to him, that's just stupid.
What about Gamora though? I mean,
But
I
here's
heard
my-
that also
she's
has
done.
a huge
She's
play.
she's dead.
Really?
Dead.
That we know. Anything that happened before the snap is done.
Yeah.
Anything.
So, like, Loki done. She's done.
Now with the whole Adam Warlock thing, I'm upset about that. I'm kind of okay with it because it was a combination effort between him and Surfer. And we know we're not getting Surfer in this movie because they just now finalized that deal.
Yeah, that would have
movie's
been 2
done
years ago.
shot. That movie's done shot, ready to go. So
Had it been 2 years ago?
Yeah,
I would
that's
love to
old.
see Adam Warlock in the movie.
And the Surfer.
Yeah.
Adam Warlock and Silver Surfer together at the end, like that, those two ending the story
The
would
good-
be incredible.
The good thing is we will get to see Warlock in Guardians 3.
Yeah, provided we.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we get
They-
a Guardians,
a
no.
lot of the cast is willing to walk away
I've
right
heard
now
that.
because of the.
That's a standoff, bro. I mean, that's
I think all of them have signed on to walk off.
Yeah, we're not gonna get too deep into it. Just look up the controversy involving Guardians 3 right now.
Yeah.
It's
A lot.
it's a lot deeper than we're willing to talk about right now. So
And another thing that I also think something we hadn't talked about yet. I also think we're about to get a weakened Thanos. The gauntlet was fried.
well, he's already said Thanos is the Russos come out and say he's broken. But if they're going back in time, he's
That's
not
true.
going to be broken.
And Ronan. I mean, it's confirmed.
In Captain Marvel, we're seeing a younger Ronan the Accuser. Lee Pace was on set in makeup.
So is
Oh,
he
wow.
going
Dude, he was
to?
a savage in Guardians.
Is he going to move forward into?
This is my super fanboy hope, especially now that they got Surfer and we know Beta Ray Bill exists. We could get there's a team called the Annihilators that is Silver Surfer, Nova, Ronan the Accuser, God, who else? Something Beta Ray Bill, somebody else. Is
Drax.
it Drax? Now, I
Yeah.
want to say even Adam Warlock was on the team at one
Yeah,
time.
Adam Warlock
It's
was
like
on it.
it's basically the Cosmic Avengers. Far more than Guardians can be the Cosmic Avengers. It's nothing but powerhouses.
Yeah, it's nothing but powerhouses that will kill you.
Yeah, and that would be my ultimate dream. But I don't know if they will go further with Ronan. I think we're just going to get more backstory on the Kree themselves because it is now that we know they have the Skrulls, the shapeshifters, whatever they've said this movie takes place during the Kree Skrull War.
We didn't even mention that in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They really want to cover a lot more of the Kree, you know, how that all ties in, you know.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know, and that's one of the things they are pushing a lot of. So, I mean, it could definitely play into it. You know, they always kind of coincide with how the movies are going on, you know, like how they did with Captain America, you know. So,
And next question would be, from all indications, Stark loses it. He's driven. He's seen him bleed. He thinks that he can. He's bleeding. I can beat him. Do we get to see the Godbuster suit?
I think we're just going to see, since we do have a mix of what's called the Superior Iron Man symbiote, which obviously when they just use this, they probably couldn't use the Spider-Man stuff when they come up with the idea. But it's a mix of it and the Bleeding Edge suit, the nanotech one. I think we're going to keep with something like that. It's just going to be more upgraded. But from the set photos I've seen, he's wearing full like shield tactical gear.
Yeah. Here's my thing though. I think they leaked those on purpose to drive fans one way, and I think the movie's gonna go another way.
Yeah, I think the Russos are using like
Genius.
Diversion.
diversion, saying you know Thanos is injured, the Gauntlet's this, Hulk didn't bitch out after getting his ass beat by Thanos, and you know
That's-
some.
I'm still defensible of something because Ragnarok, we've seen that he's tired of helping Banner.
That's true, but
yeah,
I mean,
but you know, I think Hulk, we all kind of feel.
I think
We
it's
know
a
Hulk's
little
about to
bit about-
because they punked him out in the first one, but they know there's going to be some massive redemption
I think it's a
that
little
Hulk's
bit
about
about
to get.
like,
I think everybody that's like got some kind of personal vendetta against Thanos is going to like get their little piece of the pie to defeat him.
But
I don't
there's
think there's not no one person that's
Yeah.
going to beat him. I think that whoever has the most personal vendetta is going to take a piece, and everybody gets their little piece until he's finally done. I don't think one person can really take that
What
last shot. on it.
finish your point though, Pete. You was onto something there.
I can't remember where I was going.
the diversion technique.
The diversion techniques. I think they're just, and like you said, bringing up the set photos. I mean, could it be diversionally
I
set?
think it is.
I mean, but we do know since the end of Ant-Man, after the credits, we do know that there's going to be time travel pretty much because, I mean, why are you putting that in the movie? Like,
Why is he stuck in the quantum realm?
why is he stuck in the quantum realm? And why, right before he goes into the quantum realm, do you hear Janet say, "Watch out for the time vortexes"? Like,
That's the only way
she,
to get to it. I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
the only thing she says. So we know that there's going to be time travel. So I think, you know, the set photos from back in the day, like the 2012 attack on New York, I think they could be accurate, but then again, it could be, you know, a diversion. We could, like you said, we could see Ant-Man show up in the 90s with Captain Marvel, and we could see what What I'm thinking, what we're gonna see is we're gonna see the end of Captain Marvel with her showing up into the main universe with the MCU characters right after the snaps happened. Like after the pager's
Answering
gone.
the call.
Yeah, right after the pager's gone off and everything, she's gonna show up. That's gonna be in the movie. That'll probably be the end of the credit scene. That her show.
That would be pretty unique.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like,
like
she definitely plays into it, you know.
Yeah,
But like you said, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, you thought this that they're so he's definitely got some kind of diversion because I mean we're seeing Hulk in the original Avengers trailer in this Infinity War, and he's not even in the movie. It was in the Hulkbuster suit, and we were all thinking that Hulk was running towards the battle and the whole time waiting for. And we were sitting there watching trailers get jacked up about. He's not even in the movie.
I'm thinking about that. Who would she see there to recognize? Because the only people that she would know,
Captain.
Pierce is dead.
she wouldn't know Captain. Captain would have been a capsicle.
Yeah. But
She
in the
would have known the
90s,
story. But she would have known the story.
Oh, yeah.
Surely.
but Alexander Pierce is dead, I think. I can't remember Winter Soldier if he actually died or not. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
They fraud him.
Yeah.
I forgot Widow fraud him.
Yeah.
Nick's gone. If she even halfway knows Maria Hill, she's gone. Unless they, like I said, they bring back Clark Gregg or something for Phil Coulson. It's going to have to be an old school SHIELD member for her, or old school government agent for her to recognize so she can ask, okay, what's going on? Why am I being called now?
Hawkeye.
Was he there though? In the
He could have been
movies?
younger. I mean, it could
He's
have
not
been.
going to be Hawkeye either.
But
He's
he
straight
start-
up Ronin, bro.
But no, I mean, he thought
that's probably when he started his career with SHIELD. Was probably around that time, mid to late
And I think,
90s.
and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I think he's going to be a badass in this, and I think he's going to play a major role in this.
I'm thinking we know Linda Cardellini's in the movie, the one that plays his wife, the actress, and I'm thinking that may be what have happened. We're going to see a backflip at the beginning. See
What about the
what happened
Agent
because
Carter?
he asked not to be called for anything.
Right.
He wants to just live life, his family. He's willing to sign, be pardoned and swear that he would never go back into action. What if that was his family was part of the snap,
They're
and
gotta
that's
be.
forcing him back into action?
That's got to be. That's
Because
gotta
I
be.
mean, like you said,
His
in
kids
Captain
too,
Marvel.
bro.
What about Agent Carter? She might be older.
She's
but
gone.
She's dead.
Yeah, but in
She
the
died.
'80s she won't be in the '80s though.
But I mean, we're saying
He's talking about like.
I'm talking about
Now,
At
okay,
the
that's
end
not
of-
real.
when Nick Fury sent that, and then she shows up to answer that.
where's
Oh,
it-
yeah.
who's anybody she knows?
Yes. The only person I think she could possibly know would be possibly Hawkeye, who's not going to be Hawkeye, I don't think, and Cap, just off of what he did.
I can say Tony, but the fact is Tony is on a different planet right now.
Yeah, Captain Wakanda, so it's going to have to be someone in New York.
Tony's on
Let's
a
think for a second. Who could possibly be in New York that wouldn't in that movie?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
No, he was at home. He was on the house.
His house is in upstate New York.
Yeah.
because that's where they flew to. Remember?
He was in house arrest, so they were in the city though.
She might know the fact that he has a family. I mean, she might know that, like he has a house somewhere.
But don't she have cosmic awareness? How does she not know all
That's
this
why
stuff?
we don't know.
Like you said, Phil Coulson.
That's why we
He's
don't
dead
know.
too.
Yeah, but not during that time. Well, yeah, he'd be gone too.
He is dead
He'd be
now.
gone
They
too.
killed
in
him
that.
on the show, but we don't know what's going on.
We don't know what kind of powers they're giving her in the
And
movies
what might
compared to
and
the
what might have
comics.
happened while she's been gone? Why she's been missing for 20 years?
Well, let's just call it what it is. If she jumps from 90 to 2018, this is the questions we're answering. But let's just say time's rolling on and it's 2018 and she just gets the call and she's in some other realm. You know what I'm saying? Then she shows up. But she already knows everything that's happened to this point. But here's my thing. If she knew the attack in New York was happening, why didn't she show up? That's the type of shit that's going to bother.
That's what I'm saying. But if she's in a different realm, her cosmic awareness, if she's in a different universe or different realm, cosmic awareness isn't going to help her. That she's not going to know what's going on in another universe.
Yeah, but a pager can still get it to her.
Yeah.
Look at some of the tech we. That goes back to my theory about
Pager
another
can still
topic.
get to her.
That goes back to my theory about another topic. But we don't know. It's that pager. It looks like an old school pager, but it may have Kree tech in it.
Before we see
Alien
anything,
tech. So
before we see anything on a trailer or anything on her movie, hype scale 1 to 10, you with that movie.
hers.
Yeah.
From what I've been seeing and the news I've been hearing coming out, I'm going with an 8 or 9. Just because Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, has always been one of the powerhouses in Marvel Comics.
Babes.
with her being just an ultimate powerhouse, and I feel like, as much as y'all are probably gonna hate me for saying this, like, I might like a 4. It just, she feels like filler. Like, since they didn't since they didn't have access to anyone else, they're like, we've already exhausted all the other possibilities we have. The Fox still hasn't gone through yet. We don't have access to anyone else. It feels like filler. And don't get me wrong, I like the character. I like Carol Danvers. I like, she's originally a badass bitch. She wasn't, one of these females that we're getting now, like as we've touched on before, that are just pushed for no reason.
She's always been that.
She was a powerhouse to begin with, but she doesn't feel like, who you gonna call. It's not like, the Ghostbusters. It's not the person that I would feel like should be the one being called. And so I'm not really hyped for that, but for her movie to kind of see how it ties in, I would probably give that a 6, but overall for the whole tie-in of everything, like maybe a 4 or 5, and that's...
King?
I agree with him. I mean, I'm not going to go as quite a low of a score, but it does. It feels like that because we haven't seen anything before. It's like we're just throwing it in here at the very end, and you're like, okay, is this person coming to save the day? It almost feels like, okay, we just need a little bit more of a we just need a little bit more so we can get over the hump kind of thing. Like you don't feel like if you felt like that she was coming maybe a couple movies earlier, then you had Adam Warlock, then you'd be like, okay, you would feel more like, okay, this is a destiny that both of them maybe are here to defeat Thanos. You're like, okay, well maybe they're just like, you kind of do feel like she just got filled in there. But as far as Captain Marvel, I'm really excited about it because you got to think, even with Avengers, I know it was Black Panther, but everyone knew that was the final film before it was about to hit, and you're so anxious to know what's next. You're like, how's this final story that we're gonna get before we even get to see Infinity War? So you're like, okay. Everybody was jacked up about seeing Black Panther because it was our last taste of what we was going to get before we finally got the movie we all wanted. And we want this one just as much because we want to know how it actually ends. So whenever you get Captain Marvel, I'm going to put it at I'm going to say 8. And that's what I'm going to go with 8 because it does feel like a filler, but then on the other hand, it's our last taste before we get what we really want.
I think it's, I'm in line with both of you. I think it's filler. I think it's fluff. We've already had our discussion about the female lead characters. I think it's a little bit forced, and by no means, if anybody, Stan Lee himself was sitting in this room, he would want Surfer and he would want Warlock in this position. There's no doubt about it.
I don't think he would. I think Jim Starlin would. The guy who created Thanos, I think probably he would.
Well, that makes sense. But I think out of respect for the storyline in general, and the respect for the Marvel Universe, he would want the two guys that did this. And with that being said, I think it's definitely fluff and filler. As far as her movie and her character, I'm going into it with the same realm I went into Wonder Woman with, which was about a 4 or 5 hypeness on just her movie, because to see her backstory and all that. But with the tie-in to Infinity Wars, it bumps it up to about a 7 with me, just off the tie-in. My major problem with, and I've said this before, is all these guys that has been grinding their you-know-what's off, doing all this, grunt work, Iron Man, Captain, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, even Black Widow, now Black Panther has been grinding their wheels off for this cause. They better not get overshadowed. She better not come in and just boom, hey, as Superman was in Justice League, it pissed me off, brother.
I think with
you just come in and just saves the day. No,
that's why I'm glad that concept art they released. If you look closely at that concept art, they're making sure they showcase the original 4 to 5 Avengers that are still alive. They have her, Ant-Man, some of the others that are still alive in the background, like Nebula and all them, but they have Cap, Hulk, Thor, and all them right there on the forefront to show you this is the team we're leading in with. And that's why I think that's going to be their movie, because this is their last hurrah. This is their final.
If they do that, I'll be okay. Right?
With her, I think
that's what they're gonna do.
it does feel like filler now, but I remember 5 years ago when they announced the movie and then they never said anything else. I'm thinking they were watching because they saw Warner Brothers was rushing that Wonder Woman movie, was rushing Batman vs Superman to get Wonder Woman out there, so they kind of sat back a little bit and wanted to see how people would take. I think they had plans for Carol earlier on, and they kind of just held back a little bit because they wanted to see how people would take the female superhero movie.
I got a question for you peeps. Let's say at the end of this movie, he's defeated. Let's say the good guys win. There's probably a few of them going to drop in it. We know that. Let's say Nebula's alive. Could you trust her, or do you think she's going to be the link to start the next phase and run with it?
Like as the next main villain?
No, as in, doing something outside the realm. Like, I don't think she can be trusted, even though she's on the Avengers side right now. I don't think she can be trusted.
One, I don't think Thanos is gonna die.
Mm-mm.
Just even if he does, even if we follow any type of Marvel continuity, he really never stays die. Huh?
Drax and Annihilation.
Yeah. I mean, he just got killed, like 2 weeks ago in the comics?
Yeah. He's got his head cut off by Gamora in the
Yeah.
comics.
So, I mean, he just died again for like the 12th time in comics. He doesn't stay dead. So even...
He's like Jason Voorhees.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of looks like him. Put a hockey mask on.
He's got the size and everything going for him.
Yeah.
So.
But,
I just don't think she can be trusted, even though she's going to come in here and help out.
Yep.
And she's going to be the way Stark gets back to Earth. You know that.
Well, like you both you nailed it. With Thanos, I mean, they're showing too much compassion in him. Like there's a reason that everybody can relate. And even like I even mentioned to you earlier, we were watching the Infinity War. He's even blocking her whenever he goes up to see Red Skull. Like right before he actually throws her off, he's like actually got his arm back. So you're seeing like certain compassionate moments with him throughout the entire Infinity War, and certain reasoning. So to just kill him off as if he's like just a horrible person or whatever, like he didn't have a reason to be what he was doing. I agree 100%. I don't think he's going to die. I don't think he's going to die. He just gets defeated.
Yeah, he's not going to die. I mean, it's not just the fact that he's the ultimate villain of all this. I mean, Thanos, coming from a comic book fan, there's times when Thanos has been the hero. Infinity Gauntlet is one of those times. When Nebula got the gauntlet off him, and then she went crazy, and Thanos had to help them had to help Surfer and Warlock and all them defeat Nebula.
That was my point.
Even like Infinity Crusade and the other Infinity one that they did, I mean, he was a good guy in it. I mean, he helped Adam Warlock through both of them.
He understands that, yes, he has what he wants to do, but he's not going to let somebody just run rampant and pure evil run loose. He just has this sick obsession with death, which they don't touch.
Which I think, now in his defense, he makes a lot of good points. Overpopulation is awful. Go to some of these countries that don't have the food for the people. But now, genocide's not the answer.
No, but that goes into the Batman complex.
But he truly believes that if he wipes out half the people, everybody's got a full belly, they live a good life, and all the jobs are available. He truly believes that. I think that may be a curse. He's partially right. I don't think you go kill the whole country or half the country to get there.
No.
But my point is, Nebula, in my opinion, you can't trust her. You cannot trust her, dude.
She has too much hatred towards him because he always favored Gamora of the two.
Right.
Every time she lost, he would cut a limb off and have it replaced with some kind of cybernetics. We saw the torture scene when he's mad at her.
Yeah,
he just tortures her. When he's mad at Gamora, he just yells at her. It's all he does and turns away. So so Nebula has that hatred towards him, that the child's scorned by their parents and they won't back at him.
Yeah. So I have a question for all y'all. With this being Avengers 4 being the wrap up, who's gonna die? I mean, we're talking permadeath here. We're not talking about snap.
I think Stark is.
I would definitely say Stark, since Robert Downey Jr. said he was done
I
after.
think Stark is. I thought he was going to die in the last one, and if he does, that's it for me. I'm calling out of work. I'll take 2 vacations in a row. That's it.
Yeah, like I suicide watch.
Tony seems to be a fair bet.
I think Tony's going to die for sure, like a real death. He still could. If he does, that's it for me. I'm cashing in my chips. We're shutting down a reel and a beer. I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. No, there's a chance he could.
This house becomes one giant memorial to
Yeah.
Steve Rogers.
Be a shrine with candles.
I'd be like Jim Carrey on Ace Ventura when he says that all the time. Yeah, so no, he could. I think some of the underlings could. Some of like the Ronin, like he just Hawkeye loses it and goes too overboard and goes at him. I think he could possibly. Some people like that, I think, could die. Because going forward, if they're going to change the whole thing up and go like with the different universe and all that kind of stuff, who's going to cross over? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I just mentioned they said something pre-snap. No, actually, there is some that died pre-snap that I'm very sure we're getting back, especially since Shuri lived.
Vision.
We're getting Vision back.
but he's not a being, though.
But I mean, he still has the sentient ability to
Yeah.
to feel, to have emotions, That's why Bruce told him, you're a little bit of me, you're a little bit of Tony, you're a little bit of Ultron, you're a little bit of everybody. What part of you can still be Vision, even if you take that out.
It's true.
I think Tony's dead. I think Steve's dead. That we think Steve's dead, unless they pull the Civil War thing and he comes back like he's been working for
A
S.H.I.E.L.D.
couple more though.
No, I think he's going movie to movie. He's up for movie to movie. He don't want a full contract again.
I think.
But he suddenly
like,
said he wanted back on.
Yeah, I think it's signed for 1 or 2 more now.
But that also could mean we maybe have to get like period pieces.
I can tell you somebody I know
Yeah.
for sure is not going to die, and that's the Winter Soldier.
I think.
He's banging into the next ones. I guarantee
Well,
it.
Yeah.
he was signed on. Sebastian Stan, I'll pull the contract thing. He signed on for 9 movies
Yep.
when he signed on for Winter Soldier. So
He changed it up
I'm
into
wanting
Rival.
a full on team up movie of him and Black Widow. Just because those two in the comics have such a major history, I want a team up movie.
You'll be badass.
Some spy espionage type films with them.
He may be her Black Widow was the captain in Winter Soldier though.
I think he's
You know
gonna.
what I'm saying?
I think in her movie we
In her
might
movie.
actually see where she shot him, where he shot her because she showed where she got run in with.
Yep.
And since her movie's taking place in the Red Room and her training and her period piece, I think we're going to see some of that too.
That'd be
Yeah,
badass.
I'm thinking. I'm going with you guys. I'm thinking Tony and Captain Rogers is going down. I mean, like you said, there's got to be a point where it all it's got to pass on the torch. And there's so many other stories that we're not getting from others. I mean, you do got Ant-Man, and you do got these people that have had their little pieces, but then we've got to have our time with everybody else that's about to come up. And I think that you can't do that with still pounding out Iron Man and Captain America if you're going to move in that direction. You got to start having your Adam Warlocks. You got to start having your Silver Star.
Let people in the background have the front now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's so many stories that we haven't heard yet. Plus, they're making all this time, taking all the time to bring the Silver Surfer back. Their stories we're still looking to. Yeah, and you got to think we get 2 or 3 movies a year, so when you start rotating them people, you're going to have a 55-year-old Steve Rogers in there trying to play, and you got Iron Man. I mean, there's times that they're going to have to pass the torch, and I think the older guys that have been the lead for so long, I think they're going to transition over.
There's news that 2 aren't going to die. They kind of give that away today.
Who?
There's when Bob Iger was talking about all the Fox stuff and upcoming stuff for the MCU and everything, he gave away 2 castings for Far From Home for the next Spider-Man. Colby Smulders and Sam Jackson. So we know Maria Hill and Nick Fury aren't dying in Avengers 4 because they're going to be in the next Spider-Man.
Yeah, something.
Mine is, since that was my subject to touch on, they're about to bring in the whole Fox universe, so
Yeah.
we're going to have a huge shake-up, I think. So they were getting all their major properties back, their X-Men, Fantastic Four, I mean, the big names that they didn't have before are about to get in, and
That's gonna be nasty.
we've seen Iron Man's story, we've seen Captain America's story, we've seen Thor's story, and I think if I had to pick 3, that's going to be it. Is those 3. And
That's
y'all
gonna
didn't, y'all didn't touch on Thor. I think it's
I don't
a good
think
chance.
Thor's really going to die. I think he's just going to be gone, like start rebuilding new Asgard or something.
I think he may
Yeah.
quote unquote die, but I think he's quote signed on for 1 more movie, and it's supposed to be like Rune King Thor, so it's going to be old man Logan-ish.
So
Thor.
He's gonna be
King-
Odin.
Rune King Thor is beyond Odin. Like
Yeah.
he's the most powerful being known to.
I mean, like older.
Yeah, but I mean, Rune King Thor, he can literally just thump you, and your body just disintegrates. Like he has that much power.
I gotcha.
But I think he'll get like not a death, but a death in the movie, and then we'll see him. Maybe in credit scene he's still alive, or we'll see something to lead up to Rune King Thor, because I think I'm pretty sure he is signed on for that.
No,
Because we're bringing on so many cosmic beings from so many different areas. The cosmic beings, you can't bring in the universe without having Thor a part.
we're bringing in, like he mentioned, bringing in all the mutants now. If they do bring in all the mutants, and they bring in the Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four has so much cosmic stuff tied to it. Now, what the news they have given to all that though is because these first 20 movies have been such a huge undertaking, 21 movies, that they've said there's not going to be any more super big events anymore. It's going to be small events tied between 3 and 4 movies instead of all these movies coming together. That's going to help, especially now with them bringing stuff in. Like maybe, hopefully one day, as much as I hate the comic story, an AVX movie or something like that.
Last question I gotta ask you. We'll probably close this one down. Right along. One major player we hadn't even touched on. Strange.
After watching everyone 17 billion times, I believe, somewhere around that number, and coming up with
I think it's 14,500,000.
Yeah.
how many of them? It's
Yeah,
a lot. I mean, he had to watch everyone he knows die, millions of times, and coming up with the one strategy that he knew would work. He knew he had to let Thanos win that fight to win the war.
But he's already signed on for a Strange too, right?
Yeah,
They did
He's got a whole trilogy.
Comic is signed on for I think a whole trilogy.
He's a heavy hitter, bro. I think he needs to kind
Oh,
of.
he's gonna be a major player. Like he's got his whole trilogy. He's key to the whole multiverse thing. He's probably gonna hook up with Punisher and get some PTSD. Like after seeing all his friends die that many times, get some tips from here on how to deal with PTSD.
Last question, and then we're seriously shutting down. If they roll out a Punisher on this format, who would you want to play him?
John Bernthal.
Same. He's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
Guys, we're closing this out. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell beside it so we can get notifications. One last thing. This coming up, guys, we have a 500. I'm going to let Pete touch on this.
Okay. We'll be touching when we get our 500 subscriber. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pick one of y'all at random. We'll use a random number generator,
And it'll be over the 100. It'll be somebody from 2 to 5.
No, it'll be including the 100, but it'll be.
It won't be Jeff Bright, man.
It won't be Jeff Bright.
We don't want to get pants.
We're not gonna put him. We're not gonna put his name in the row.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to get like exposed again. Like he beat us down. But no. Make sure when you subscribe, you set it to not private so we can see that you're subscribed to our channel. And when we hit the 500th, what we're going to do is we're going to randomly generate it. And we're going to pick one of y'all, and we'll do the same thing we did with Jeff. We're going to bring you on, let you choose the topic, take care of you, treat you like a king.
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 No fun.
No, we're definitely not
No,
going to treat you like we treat you.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be nice to you.
They abuse me.
That being said, guys, we're going to shut it down. Hope you guys have a good night. This one ran a little bit long, but it was absolutely fantastic. I think we covered a lot of stuff. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.